Hello everyone, my name is Rick Passek, FlyFish Fanatic, and welcome to my tying bench. Today we will be tying a little wee dry fly emerger. It looks more like a dry fly, but I fish it more like an emerger because it does sink just, the body sinks just below that surface. So it's kind of a hybrid. So let's not play around, let's get going. In the vise today, we have a Hends BL554 clink hammer in a size 8. I tie him a size 8, 10, 12. This is more of a lake fly. To be honest, I haven't tried it on the rivers. It probably would work well in the rivers. I dress it a little heavier, just like with the overwing, to get it to float just that touch more. So I'm just going to use, where are we? Where did I put it? Oh, there we go. Chartreuse thread, classic wax, just for a hot spot in the butt. And then I'll be using some white Nanosilk for the main tying thread. For the body, I'm going to use, where did I put it? It's the Dirty Bug yarn. I don't know where I put the. When I find it, I'll show it to you guys. It's I'll show you what color it is. Or did I put it back? Maybe I didn't put it back. No, I didn't. It doesn't look like it's in there. Oh, yes, I did actually. Nope, I didn't. That's a different one. It's kind of a tan color, so if I find the spool, did it fall down? No, it didn't. Oh well, if I find it, I'll let you guys know what color it is, and if not, it'll be in the description. It's the color I use the most. So, and for the overwing, I'm going to be using some reindeer. This is not, and it's basically an elk hair caddis, but it's with reindeer. Okay, I find this stuff, it moves a lot nicer. It floats well. It acts a lot like deer hair and like elk hair. It's just that I find it has a little bit more movement. So, alrighty, so let's get it going. So this is not going to be a huge bodied fly. So I'm just going to come back to just past the tip of the hook there. About to there, and then I'm going to come back forward. And I'm going to go back again. And back forward. And that's my hot spot. That's it. Just creating a tiny little hot spot at the back. I have to say, I absolutely love this chartreuse tying thread from Semperfli, but it does not like the camera. It always blurs. So it's got so much UV properties to it and stuff, right? It does not handle the light very well. That's okay. So just a wee tad of UV resin on the back end. Twofold reasonings. One, I want to protect that hot spot, and two, I do want this butt end to just sink a bit. So this tiny little bit of resin will help that. It's not like it adds weight really, but it helps cut the tension in the water, right? So it will help that back end sink a bit. But you can see how that just lights up as soon as you hit it with a UV light. So, okay, there's my hot spot. Now I go on with my white tying thread. This is Nanosilk. And I'm going to stop right at that hot spot. And come forward to about where I tied in the green. And then I'm going to tie in my Dirty Bug yarn. Now you can also use, I just don't have the right color. Normally what I do use is the pretty well the same color as this in the in this here, the dry fly poly yarn. But right, so that's normally what I use for this pattern. But again, I don't have. I've got. Well, I could have done it in a different color, but this is the color, and I think the color is more important. So, oh, that actually, I didn't catch the center core, so I'll undo that. Not a huge deal. Yeah, like I said, I think the color on these in this one is more important than the fact of the dry fly poly yarn. I like I said, I do want this one to sink just ever so slightly into that surface slime, right? So I'm just gonna touching wraps. One more. Sorry about that, guys. Just gonna cut that straggle off there. Just make sure that's tied down nice. Now, what I like doing here is I like taking some wax and just waxing my thread just a bit here. And then just building just a tiny bit of a base for the elk hair, I mean the reindeer hair to go on. Now I've already cut some off, put it into my stacker. Stacked it so the tips line up. I will take off all the under fluff, anything that I don't want. There we go. And then I want this to be about a little bit past the hot spot. I don't want it to the bend of the hook. About there. So I'm just going to transfer my hand. A loose wrap, loose wrap, loose wrap, and then I'm going to tighten by pulling up, pulling up, pulling up. The reason I'm doing that with this is because it is Nanosilk, and Nanosilk will cut it, right? So now I'm going to stroke it all back. Just build up in front, just a little bit, and there she goes. That's it. No, that's not it. I'm going to cut off all these butts. This takes a little bit of time just to make sure you get all the butts, but don't cut off all the pieces that you want, right? So takes it just a wee tad of time, and it does make a bit of a mess. I'm not a big fan of, never have been a big fan of tying with deer hair, but or reindeer hair or elk hair or any of those. I just find them make a mess, but it is an amazing material. So there we go. Come back just a bit over top of that, and I'm just going to take a little bit of Semperfli kapok dubbing in a color that's close to the wing, so like a creamy kind of color. I'm just going to put a little bit there just to kind of hide that tie-in. It really doesn't matter. This is just an extra step. You don't need to do this. I do it, and I sometimes don't. So it's just totally up to you. That's it. Real quick little, it just helps hide some of those butts. Whip finish. Cut her off. And there's my little, call it Rick's Reindeer Emerger. Like I said, that'll sit right in that surface film, just like that, right? So you can, sometimes I'll put a, this is a big one, but this is a French tinsel, French oval. Sometimes I'll put something like that in as a rib, just to add a little bit of shine. You can also take your your dubbing brush and just give that dirty bug yarn just a little bit of a roughing, just to make it look a little bit more buggy, right? Not a lot, just a little. And like I said, that's it. It's a really simple fly. I like how this one sits up like that. I don't want to tie this much further back here. I want this to be flat on the water, and it'll actually sit like about like that in the water, right? That's how it'll sit in the water, and then the fish will come up from below. So, alrighty. Hope you guys liked that one. If you did, give her a thumbs up. If you've subscribed, thanks a lot. If you have not, please consider doing so. And go to if you want, go to Amazon and check out my first book is now up for pre-order on Kindle on Amazon, and my second book, The Insect Guide, will be up sometime in the new year. So, alrighty, tie lines, everybody.